Hey folks, I just finished ripping. Ripping doesn't really make a lot of sense with this. But it's an IKEA laminate countertop, and I need it to be 13 3/4 wide. And I figured, well, I'll show you how I did that. Right now these are two pieces. They rip very nice, cut very nicely. This is particle board. Let me show you what this stuff is made out of. You want to get the right saw blade to do this. This is plain old particle board. I tried a 140 tooth circular saw blade. Big mistake. Need a carbide blade. I have a DeWalt precision finished blade on here now. I hope you can see that. It's a 60 tooth, 7 1/4 for my Craftsman circular saw. And I'm going to show you how I did this step by step. Let me pause this briefly. Alright, this is the next piece to be cut. Oh, there goes the air conditioner. Maybe I'll reposition this. Hang on a second, folks. Move you away from this a little bit. Oh, that's the yard. We're quieter over here. There we go. That's the noisy air conditioner. So, first thing I'm going to do, take some tape. Measure back 13 3/4 from where I want to this to be. The rounded edges. There's a rounded edge on these IKEA. This is only a 6 foot wide one, so I can handle it myself. Or 6 foot long. The 8 foot ones are unbelievably heavy. This is heavy enough for me. They're 25 1/2 plus a little more. I need 13 3/4. So I'm just going to lightly mark 13 3/4 there. 13 3/4 here. Put tape on them. Now, I probably don't need to do this because this blade I'm using is very good. I actually cut one of the pieces without putting tape on it. Kind of accidentally, but why tempt fate, right? Tape that ostensibly keeps you from splintering the laminate top when you're cutting it with the saw. I'm going to flip it over. Let's do it this way. This is not a lightweight piece here. You can see I put down some blocks with some rags on them to protect the good side of the laminate. Grunt, grunt. And I have a channel that I could cut through so I don't destroy the board and table underneath. Which, by the way, is made of an old door with IKEA legs stuck to it, and it's extremely portable, narrow, does everything I need it to. Now, my 13 3/4, what I've got to do to make sure I get the dimension correct, and I found that from this back edge of this waste piece that I'm not going to use to where the fence is and where the blade cuts, I need to measure back 16 1/2 so I can put my guide down. So I'm going to measure 16 1/2. That'll give me the 4 1/2 plus fractional inches for the fence and to the blade. So do your measuring carefully. figure out where you want it to go and where you need to put your fence. So I'll be measuring that right now. 16 and a half, that's right there. 16 and a half, that's right there. Now let's use a square and mark it a little bit better so I can see it. Good mark. This is my fence. I tried making a jig with 3/4 inch plywood, but with my 7/4 inch, in other words, I had this screwed to a larger piece of plywood that all I had to do is plop down on and cut, just clamp it down and cut. But the 7/4 inch 7/4 inch circular saw going the distance, the 1.5 inches and the 3/4, I couldn't cut that deep, so I had to get rid of the rest of my jig and just screw the fence directly to the back of the good piece here. So go ahead and do that. And I left overlap. I left about 5 inches on each side so I can get the saw started with the guide part, the fence, guiding the saw as it makes the entry of the cut, and about 5 inches over here where it exits the cut. That way you don't have any weird entry or exit marks, and that works very nicely. What I use is ordinary drywall screws to screw this in the back. They're 1.25 inches. I'm going through 3/4 of an inch into 1.5 inches. There's no worry about going through the entire thing, so I can just line it up. Use my, again, DeWalt. I'm not getting any promotional monies from DeWalt, Craftsman, or IKEA. And just screw them right in. But this impact driver is fantastic. I love it. Get my 5 inches there. Bunch of screw holes here. Line it up carefully. And bam! Carefully, and bam. And I have these spaced, I don't know, 8 inches to a foot apart. It's not going anywhere. This 4-inch wide piece of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood, I had ripped at Lowe's, and it's very dimensionally stable. They do a cut in a nice, quick, swift move, so it's a good straight cut. So I don't have to worry about wandering, warping, whatever. Now, just to make sure things don't move around too much, got a clamp here. I cut the last one without the clamp. I probably don't need it, but better safe than sorry. They're Irwin clamps, by the way. They make a good clamp. Alright, that's not going to move. I've got the cut line centered between the 2x4 blocks on this board, and I'm going to cut. Put on my mask and my glass disappeared. Up there. And the glasses. And this is getting a little loud here. And that is about all there is to it. Now I noticed I was wandering a little bit, so I'm going to take the saw down this. I didn't have it pressed up hard enough up against the fence. So let's just try and clean that up a little bit. Keeping it well up against the fence. That looks pretty good. Let's take a look. Looks quite nice. No chips, no muss, no fuss. And that second pass cleaned it up. It's quite nice. That's all there is to it, folks. Have at it. Good luck.